Yeah. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Getting everything. I thought I had everything all set up, but it's all good. We here right now. We here now. It is Dr. Jamar Montgomery here, and we're good and ready to go live on all platforms. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I just got done. Well, I watched the NABJ interview. But once again, this is Dr. Jamar Montgomery of drjamarmontgomery.com. And I'm so glad that everybody is here rocking with me. And today we are going to talk about the NABJ, which is the National Association for Black Journalists, and the interview that they did with President Trump. For all those that are just now coming in, President Trump sat down with the National Association of Black Journalists for a conversation. And it almost seemed like President Trump was ambushed in some ways. What's interesting is that, journalism. What are you thinking about journalism? As a journalist, you are supposed to report the news, to provide a level of objectivity, and also a level of professionalism and tact. And I think that how the interview got started, that there was a lack of respect and maybe tact. I don't know. What do you guys think? Wall Street Consortium, what's going on? He said that was unreal. Diametrically Opposed said, yo, what's good? I don't know if you guys watched it, but I did. But I'm going to let you guys hear how it started off. Let's put this up. So let's see.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist.
They were disrespectful.
You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're...
Right. Did y'all hear that? Off the gate, she came in. That was Rachel Scott. Basically just came in off the gate, just banging them with a question and banging them with... There was no level of like, hey, how you doing, President Trump? We're so glad to have you here. Thank you for spending your time here with the National Association of Black Journalists. No, none of that. She immediately got into it. And, she's saying, oh, well, you're doing this. You've talked about black journalists this way and blah, blah, blah. You had dinner with the white supremacists at Mar-a-Lago. And I took offense to that. Why did I take offense to that? I took offense to that because I was at Mar-a-Lago with Nick Fuentes. And at no point did she say, oh, well, I'm glad you had Jamar Montgomery there, even though you met with a white supremacist. Nick Fuentes was very critical of Trump. He was very critical of Trump, right? Very critical of Trump and how he felt that President Trump had let down a lot of his base and people like him. But whatever, I'm gonna keep going. Juan said she welcomed him before they sat down. She did. She absolutely did, Juan. The problem is that the audience doesn't get to hear that. That's the thing, is that the him saying all that, she didn't say it loud enough. It wasn't an actual welcome. It wasn't any of that. And so there's a level of tact and respect. And a lot of people, I'll say this, I know a lot of men identified with being in that hot seat at that time. Like, yo, I can't even sit down good and ease into the conversation. I'm just bam, right hook of a question, right? And I get it. You know, they're journalists, right? Connor Davis, yes, I am serious. They're journalists, but the fact is that uh there's a level of respect that you're supposed to have. She's talking to this man like she's his equal. He's the president of the United States. Progress Portia said, I heard her welcoming him. Yes, she did, but she did not welcome him to the crowd. So, as a panelist, as somebody is that moderates panels and things like that, you always want to introduce your panel and then welcome them and welcome the panel, welcome the president, and welcome whoever you're talking to the crowd. Even though you might say, "Hey, what's up?" Whoop 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 whoop. It's about now including the audience in that conversation. I disagree, I disagree, Portia. She could have did it much better. You said, Progress Portia said, I heard it and it was uncomfortable, the amount of respect to give a racist. You know, President Biden has said a lot of racist things that he hasn't atoned for. So did he all of a sudden stop being a racist in his late 80s, in his early 80s, early 70s? Connor Davis asks, does Trump respect people? Absolutely, he absolutely does. Trump does have respect for people. I know that because I've met with him. I've met with him. We're not talking about Biden. We're talking about Trump. Absolutely. So my point is that when we start talking about just a level of respect and a level of decorum, this is the former president and could be the next president of the United States. So put some respect on his intro. Put some respect on his name. Shannon said, that's all y'all do is say, but what about Biden, blah, blah, blah. Trump does not deserve respect. That's cold game. That we would say that a former president does not deserve respect. That's crazy. Progress person said he should have handled it better. I don't know how he could have handled it much better than that. You're already in a hostile space. People are not giving you the proper respect that you deserve as a president, as somebody who earned the vote of 60 million people, right? That was earned. That was earned. What has she done? Right? The fact that he decided to take his time out to be in front of an audience that's already hostile to him, that many of them don't like him, and he decides to take his time and still come. Right? Thank you. I'm in spaces like that many times. You have to respond as a professional. That's my point. That's my point. You don't. How you react to somebody says more about you than that person. Okay, this person might be a total scumbag, but you're still a professional. So you allow your professionalism to drop because of the person that's in front of you? You serious? I don't get that. Why do guys always lower the standard when it comes to Trump? Imagine Trump has 5 kids with 3 women. He was married to them. Trump hasn't earned anything. He is a rich white man with privilege who has lied and scammed people. All right. You go get 60 million votes. I'm not going to act like it's you're walking into a hostile place. He didn't disrespect the women. In fact, he was going through and cracking jokes. And crazy part is that he was winning over the crowd. But I'm going to get there, right? Some of the things that he talked about in that time was about Kamala Harris's Indian heritage being under dispute. And there have been black people he said, I've never been asked a nasty question like that. Did he call her a nasty woman? No, I think he asked her about the. He said it was a nasty question, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Um, the Indian heritage being under dispute, which was interesting because that is an active conversation and an active dispute that is going on within the black community right now. Just because her father was Jamaican, just because her father was Jamaican, now all of a sudden, does that mean that he's black? um, that is an active conversation, active dispute. But regardless, okay, if you see her as a black woman, cool. Should we just be voting for Kamala Harris just because she's a black woman? Yep. Wall Street Consortium says CNN about to go in on him for his interview today. As they should. As they should. There's going to be people who feel like he did a great job. There's going to be people who feel like he did a horrible job. There's going to be people that feel that that the panelists were purely professional, and there's going to be people who feel that the panelists weren't. I just always ask people if you were in those in that person's shoes, right? If not, oh, somebody's like, oh well, I'm not a racist. Okay, well, what if you did something or said something that people found detestable, that people immediately disagreed with, right? What if you were in that position? Not of, oh, I said I would never say anything like Trump. I'm saying, what if you were in that position? What if you were in that position? And now you're sitting in front of an audience that is already doesn't like you, right? Already one of the panelists is definitely already hostile to you. How would you handle that situation? He didn't disrespect those women, but let's go here. Let's go here. Somebody said that he called her nasty, but let's see. Here it is morals. Let's go here. Let's go to where it said nasty and hostile. Let's go.
You became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe
I
that she
think
is
somebody should look into that too when you ask a continuing event, and she was
Here we go.
only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe
I
that she
think
is
somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President...
All right, so somebody said that he called her nasty. He said, no, when you talk with me in such a nasty and hostile tone, right? People are saying I'd have composure, not be disrespectful. That's not, in no way was he disrespectful. In no way was he disrespectful. Did he sit there and stand his ground with a hostile host? Absolutely. But to say that he was disrespectful, nah, not at all. And CNN is posting he attacked her. He didn't attack her. Y'all forget these men separated kids from their parents and some kids never placed back. You know what? That was horrible. That was horrible. But now, and I have it on good information. That many of the children that come over here were sold into sex trafficking. Not the kids that were separated. Was that messed up? Absolutely. I didn't agree with the separation of children from their families. But there were a lot of children who were being brought over and being told that, hey, this is their this is their family, and they really weren't. So that's one. That's one. Let's see. He didn't do his homework. That's funny. I'd have composure, not be disrespectful. They were nasty. That man separated families at the border to confirm that he belonged to the family. They were doing DNA under Trump. So did Obama. Oh, WFT, you right. Obama had the greatest deportation record of all the presidents. So the thing is, like I said, there's going to be people. There's going to be people who are going to disagree, who are going to think that Trump did a great job, and others that don't. I'm saying here, if you Set the standard. If you're the one who sets the standard, if you are supposed to be the professional in the room, if you're the better person, that does not give you the right to now stoop. Doesn't give you the right. So, okay, let's say Trump was hostile. Well, guess what you as a journalist can do? As somebody that's interviewing, is be gracious. Is still operate with grace. Still operate with tact. You could still have sarcasm, you could still have snark, you could still have some spice, but you do it with grace. Now it's the president should have been the better person. I'm saying to you, I believe that the president acted as the better person. I'm saying that Trump acted as a better person. What I'm saying, Jason said, "Wait, are you saying that journalists were wrong?" What I'm saying is that they started off the interview on the wrong foot. And if you notice that Trump was gracious towards Harris Faulkner and also Kadia Goba, right? And I'll show you more because he was joking with him. Let's go to one of the clips. Let's see. Get us there real quick. Listen to this, people. We got 114. Let's go here.
To go to Butler, Pennsylvania, and we didn't know what was next.
Yeah.
And 2 days after that...
I cannot understand. Your microphone
I know,
is so
it is really hard for me to understand
it's just,
you too.
I can understand you perfectly.
Because she's closer.
I can understand you.
I'm happy to hear that, sir.
But I
Really
can't
happy to hear
understand,
that.
Harris.
I have a few more
So he
questions.
was
Because
joking
of
with
the
the crowd?
distance, and the mics are really in lousy shape, but I cannot understand
So,
Are you asking a question?
what you're saying. Go
so
ahead.
So that's one. Let's go to the other. Let's go to the other one where he's where he's joking with the crowd again. This is where Kadia Goba asked him a question, and she threw a little shot at him. Right? She threw a little shot at him, and he took it right on the chin. Let's go.
Sure.
And, to your point and to Rachel's point, he, has a lot of opinions about childless women like myself or divorced people like yourself. Do you think, well, I mean, my point
but at
is
least
here.
it was said in a friendly manner.
My point is,
See, he said at least it was said in a
do you
friendly
think
manner.
the Republican...
Why? That means, hey, Trump has been a public figure for years. He's used to people taking shots at him, but at least have a level of tact. Kadia Goba, she did it. Once again, I feel like Kadia Goba was kind of like in the middle. Rachel Scott was extremely hostile. Harris Faulkner was friendly, and Kadia Goba was probably the fairest person there. And I would have liked to see more panelists like Kadia Goba. I would have really liked to see her more up there because she took a shot at him. But Trump was like, at least she said it in a nice manner, right? I don't think Rachel was doing what needed to be done. I think that I don't think that it was a good representation of black journalism. I really don't. I really don't. And I think that folks, we take this stuff very personal, and it's when you call somebody a racist, basically the conversation's over. Right? She didn't take a shot, she acknowledged his side. Trump went to the Lions Den and owned it. Luis, you're absolutely right. A racist white man went to Chicago to have a discussion. He owned it. He definitely owned it. I don't know if I would necessarily call him a racist. I don't know if I would definitely call him a racist. I would say that maybe there's some prejudice. I definitely say that there's some prejudice. Progress Portia said Roland Martin should have been up there. Roland Martin, I think, would have been very disrespectful. I think he would have been very, very disrespectful. But I encouraged Roland Martin to be up there. I encouraged him to be up there. Right? If it's somebody's going to ask the difficult questions, is up there. But there has to be a level of respect. There has to be a level of decorum. WFT said, can I come up for a minute? Yeah, let's see. I'll let you come up for a little minute. Yep, let's see. Let you come up for a hot second. What's up, WFT?
Hi, can you hear me?
What's happening?
Yeah, listen. Okay, I watched it from the beginning, and I am a Trump supporter. And that one lady was just, as you could just tell her face. I mean, she was just out to get him. She was not happy he was there. I think he was a little flustered. Because he did. He went there, to come in peace. I think he missed a lot of opportunity to make it better, but I think he was so upset with the question, and it just went downhill from there. The 2 points that he made, they're facts. Okay, Kamala Harris, when she was introduced as a senator, was a Indian descent, an Indian American. Never mentioned anything about African American, Jamaican, nothing. For years, it was like that. And then all of a sudden, the last year, or when she got to VP, she's now a black woman. I didn't even know she was Indian, because when I just met her being VP, I thought she was just a black woman. So he's right about that. And if you go on X right now, you have all the clips of her saying she was only Indian. Okay, so that is a fact. Like, that's what I thought. I thought that she was only black because I just got to know her from being a VP. And
Absolutely.
then what was the second one that everybody's upset about? Oh, the black jobs. Okay, you're at a black event. When you're asked a question about a black community and he says black jobs, that's black jobs. Like, I don't understand. If he was at a Hispanic event and they were asking questions about Hispanics, he would say Hispanic jobs. I really don't think he means anything ill will towards that. And I just think this is the facts. The media is completely against him. Now you got Google and Facebook deleting things. Not like you put up Donald Trump's assassination attempt. You can't type it up. You put today. I put, because I wanted to know when his rally in Harrisburg was to watch, and I typed it in. Everything comes up Kamala Harris. So there is everything against him, and I don't see, honestly, him winning with this, because they're either going to pew pew or something is going to happen, because it's so ridiculous. Now, he is not perfect. I think he missed out on a lot of opportunities, but I just think he's so angry. I think if he let go a little bit of that, he would do better. I think because I generally do not think the man's racist. I'm sorry. If you go back in pictures, I went back to look. He sits at tables he was with, what's that guy, the real skinny guy?
WFT.
Al Sharpton.
WFT. You know, I met with Donald Trump. You know what? I met with President Trump.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, I met with. I was there when he met with. I was there. Nick Fuentes joined me and Kanye. Nick Fuentes joined at the last minute. That's the funny part.
Yeah, I just feel like it just they embedded this everything in people's heads, because I'm telling you, in 2016 he was not supposed to win. They didn't think he was going to do, and when he did, he exposed Republicans and Democrats, all of them, the dirty ones, and it all came out, like how much they make in Congress, how much time they have. No, we didn't know that, or we really, not that we didn't know it, but we didn't know how deep it went. The inside trading. Did you know all of that back then? I didn't know all of that, and I think they just hate him for that's the main reason. It's taking away their money, and that's what it is. So I really hope people just do research. I mean, it's hard now. Go on DuckDuckGo, go on different websites, and really research, because we are going to be in World War III I'm sorry if she gets in. I have nothing against her. I think she's, I don't even know what the word is, but I'm nervous. I'm very nervous, and I really think that if he does not get in, we're going to be in real big trouble.
Well,
But anyway,
WFT, thank you so much for sharing your perspective. I really do appreciate that. I hope that you become a subscriber and a follower of mine. I really appreciate you.
I followed you now, and keep doing what you're doing, because you call him out when he says, "Trust me." There's times where I'm like, Trump, I cringe, and I'm like, don't. And I just think he's so real that he doesn't think before he talks, like all of us. That's why people love him.
Yep.
Because he will just, even today, he just said what came out of his mouth. Go back and really watch it with an open mind, and look at that woman's face as soon as he walked in there. I mean, come on, I'd be a little nervous going in there.
Yep.
Like really look at it. Really, get the media. Don't look at me. Do your research, people, because this is so much bigger than all of us. And if you think about it, every media, most every media station, every Google search, everything, the only one who's stepping up and showing the truth is Elon Musk. And I give that man credit because he is calling them out on all their lies. So just do your
Absolutely.
research, people.
Thank you, WFT.
Thank you.
Well, I'm saying right here, look, she brought up a great point about Trump just says what's on his mind and what he's actually feeling and what he's actually feeling. It's not rehearsed. It's not staged. It's what is on his mind. So when you see Trump, you see a real person. You don't see a rehearsed politician. That's what people are looking for in their politicians. And the crazy thing is you got two lines of thought. You want somebody that's real, but they're going to have their failings, versus somebody that appears perfect and then later find out that they all of their failings. That's an issue. Progress Portia said they plan to start a race war. There's no reason to believe that there will be World War III outside of white nationalists threatening it. Nope, not buying it. Not buying it. Not buying it. Now, watch this. You're talking to somebody that was involved in racial conflict in Shreveport. Oh, things got real sticky in Shreveport in 2020. Real sticky in 2020. And there were people who were I don't even know if they were necessarily MAGA, but definitely ultra conservatives, who were upset that black people were protesting about Black Lives Matter, right? That were upset about that. I think that the American people are in a lot of trouble because there's a lot of disrespect that goes on. There's a lot of disrespect that goes on both sides. On both sides. You call me, black people call white people a racist and then wonder why white people are either afraid to talk to them or are afraid to talk to them and say what's really on their mind without being called a racist. White folks are scared to talk to black people because black people will find any way of finding what they say as racist. Why are we worried about what? I want somebody that's going to be honest with me. Tennessee is seeing white nationalists marching every weekend. Well, guess what? Guess who should be also marching? Guess who should be also marching? Why are you upset with other citizens expressing their First Amendment right? That's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment is about speech that you don't want to hear, speech that you find detestable. The Progress person, why are you supporting them like they care about you? I'm supporting the rights. That's the problem. I'm supporting the rights. Because guess what? If they'll take away somebody else's rights, or you allow somebody else to take your rights, then guess what? The power structure will take away yours too. You can be honest and not be racist. You can be honest and racist. You can be honest and racist. You can be honest and not racist. Two things can both be true. Two things can both be true. Uh-oh, my phone's over here trying to overheat on me. Light on nobody home. That's funny. Change the subject? Nope, I ain't changing the subject because they're bluntly racist. They have rights, but also you do have your right to show anger. You do have your rights to show anger. Trump is the one taking away rights. What rights is he taking away? So black people are the only ones wrong? No, I'm not saying black people are the only ones wrong. I'm saying that black people need to start organizing their vote and organizing their dollars. Here's the situation that black people are in. Black people vote Democrat, but don't get much from Democrats. Black people are loyal to Democrats, but Democrats aren't loyal to black people. Prime example. Guess what? We got money to give Israel and Ukraine, but no money for reparations. This is a Democrat. This is the Democrats. This is the Democratic Party that's supposed to be looking out for black people's interests. They're supposed to be looking out for black people's interests. That gives money to Ukraine, gives money to Israel. Billions. Let's go down. Let's go down. We live in a conservative state and we're at the bottom of everything. Louisiana is at the bottom of everything because black people don't get up off their behinds and go vote. Voter turnout is low in Louisiana. I'm trying to get you to understand, if you're expecting for people to do what's fair and do what's right, you are in the wrong game. If you are expecting people to respond to power and respond to money, then you're playing the right game. And black people, it's always black people's fault. You want to know why it's black people's fault? This is why. The only things that you can control are the things that you take ownership and responsibility for. Point blank, period. Your house, you got your household, your kids is acting up and all of that. If you say, well, that's just how kids are. No, you take responsibility and accountability. Guess what? When you take responsibility and accountability, you can control it. I'm riding for America. I'm riding for America. Let me run this down for people before they get anything twisted. Hold up. I advocated for Victor White III, who was killed in not Opelousas. Victor White III, who was killed by sheriff's officers in Louisiana back in 2014. Attorney Benjamin Crump called it Houdini handcuff suicide. I participated in the march on the 55th or the 60th anniversary of the Edmund Pettus Bridge while I had an election for law school. I worked for the NAACP as chair of legal redress, fighting against discrimination complaints, racial discrimination complaints. I was a public defender for black children in Shreveport, Louisiana. I was a political activist. I ran for office in Shreveport. I ran for U.S. Senate in the 2020 elections on bigger, better business, social action, and education, making sure that black folks had access to technology. So guess what? The fact is that I've been in the game. I have made real sacrifices. I have made sure I understand what black people are going through. My research was on militarized police and protests. There's pictures of me speaking up at city council meetings with my bulletproof vest on. There's videos of me protecting protesters with my rifle, putting my life on the line. Don't you ever in your life come for me ever again. Respectfully. I'm telling you that when you recognize what your interests are and who is most likely to advocate for the things that are important to you. I'm a black man. I'm also an entrepreneur. Excuse me, Portia. I just got passionate. I'm a black man. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an educator. I'm a politician. I'm all of those things. I have interest in all of those things. And the thing about it is that black folks do not know which hill to die on. Am I going to die on the abortion hill? I want to make sure that people have access to abortions. Am I going to die on that hill? Is that hill more important than making sure that inflation comes down, that I can buy a home, that I can have good jobs? Is that more important? Like, what are your interests? What are the things that you're willing to die for? Start with that. Then, what are the things that you're willing to go to jail for? Then go with that. Progress Portia, I'm bringing you up. Enrique Juarez said, freedom of speech, we can critique you all we want. What's up?
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. How are you? Oh, see, if Rachel Scott would have came at Trump that way, he would have got a different response. What's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Yes. So first of all, I want to jump back to the beginning with the
Beautiful.
whole how the conversation started with Trump on there. Do I feel like it was an awkward intro? Yes. But when you talk about giving account and taking everybody's feelings into account, whether you feel he is disrespectful, racist or not, because you have your certain views, you cannot ignore when you are running for a political office or anything, there are going to be people who have views. So he has to acknowledge and accept, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, he has done things that have been offensive to the black community. He has said things that have been offensive. So when someone comes in and they already feel like somebody is being disrespectful, you're trying to put us back in our place, take back our rights, because they are coming for our rights and they're coming against affirmative action, they're coming against DEI, whether we feel we need them or not. It is a lie to think that they're just going to give us positions. As I said, Donald Trump, he had put one person in, a black person, gave one black person a job. The lady who was on there talking about, oh, well, why would they bring up black jobs? And he's just with black people. That's why I say no, because it was something, well, I can't remember what the particular, okay, hey, baby, nah, that's too much. I can't remember what the particular thing was that he talked about the black jobs the other day because my mind's going blank. But that was another event that he said that was it the debate maybe when he said they're taking black jobs, and to continue to say black jobs the way he does, we can have any job. So why is he just targeting and saying they're just coming for our jobs, other than the fact that he's saying, because a lot of the jobs, if they do come over, they're taking jobs that most people don't want to do. They're doing things that are getting very, very low pay, which is that's not even right, but they're paying them basically much of nothing. So he basically, you want us to be being paid much of nothing either. So anyway, going back to it, if you want to take into consideration the fact that yes, there's probably is some tension when you walk in here. Did I feel like it was a little awkward, especially jump right in? Yes. Do I feel like as what is on the line right now, and I know we don't agree with where the nation is right now, so we're going to have difference of opinion here. But to say that they want to take away our rights and change this from, I know it's not a true democracy, so there's points that I understand what you're saying as far as Republicans, Democrats. They're not for, neither one of them are really for black people regardless. And so you can't just, I understand that. But when you have Trump, you cannot ignore that the people who are responding loudest to him are racist white nationalists. And no matter what policies you like of his or not, he is empowering them. And that is dangerous because he is letting them, whether you think he's really believes them, whether he really feels it or not, he's giving them a place and a platform to be loud and proud with all of their hatred. So whether you want to believe, because I believe Trump is really all about himself regardless, and he's trying to play everybody. But regardless of it, he is giving them power, and that's dangerous. He wants power. He said he wants to put it in a place where we don't get to choose anybody ever again. So when we're talking about voting and strategies and stuff, the strategy can't be, and this is not one of the elections I personally feel. I know, again, we're going to disagree on this. I don't feel that this is, oh, well, we just choose based on policy. We're just going to choose whoever, like we normally try to do, like, whatever side. Because the fact of the matter is both sides are going to have policies that people can agree on either. So like Republicans aren't all wrong, Democrats aren't all wrong. They both have extreme sides that we're not going to agree with. Like you just, the fact of the matter is, and I am someone who would have preferred a Bernie Sanders. You may not like him either. I don't know, and that's fine. But I would have preferred a Bernie Sanders. But at the same time, the strategy right now for someone who is trying to take away our rights and take away everything that is, there is going to be tension and frustration. I, as a black woman, as a social worker, I have worked in the prisons. I worked in Angola. I have worked in acute psych and geri psych. I've worked in hospice where people's loved ones are dying and fights are broken out at people's houses. I've been disrespected, called all types of things. I've been in the church, leadership in the church, disrespected by church leaders, by men and women.
Were they white?
No, what I'm telling you is when I'm in those positions and I have to go speak and someone
someone catches me off guard, I don't get to go in there and come in and just say whatever and be like, oh, well, they was disrespectful to you. You are running for the highest position. Sweetie. Hey. It's okay. It's okay. You just spill water on you. Come on, that's okay. I know. Mommy's gonna clean it up. Is it cold? It's okay. You just spill water. That's okay. But that he's running for the highest position. So for her to come out there, was it tense? Yeah, it was tense when he came out there and she said it. But what did she say to him? All she did was repeat his words back to him. Baby, it's full. The cup is full. Go take your cup. She repeated his words to him and asked him, how should people feel for that? And why should people vote for you like that? So in that sense, like, yeah, okay, you caught me off guard, but I know I'm coming into their territory. I haven't been here all these different years. The only reason he said yes, because he hasn't been in the news since Vice President Kamala has been taking over everything. And he needed to have a platform and say, okay, I'm going to go to the black people while everybody's, rooting for Kamala right now. I'm going to go over here. So why would you come in there expecting that if you're running for president, then you know what? If he was sincere, never meant those things, if he's whoever you think he is, he could have said, you know what? That's not how I meant it. Or, hey, you know what? I may not have said the right things in the past, but I'm here to move things forward. That's a simple thing. And if you're going to lie about everything like he does, you could have lied and said that and moved on. But no, what he did was he tried to play in their face and try to make black people look incompetent and horrible and throw stuff in their face. Now, whether, again, you may think, well, she was disrespectful, he should have got it back. He threw a lot of stuff in there that was unnecessary. He was rambling. He could have taken the time to highlight the policies and his points. He didn't do that. What was the point in breaking down Vice President Kamala? Whether people go back and forth about that or not, I don't care. That is not what we're running about, is whether she was once seen as primarily Indian, primarily black. I'm not voting for her because she's black. I understand the narrative that's being out there. A lot of people running behind that. But that is the least of my concern right now.
So he wasn't.
You could have taken that time and you could have said something that you're going to do.
So he did. But let me put it like this. Let me put it like this. Do you believe that all presidents have been racist?
I believe all white people have racism in them.
Okay, all right. So now,
whether they intentionally do it or not, because that is what they have been raised.
Hold on. So I'm going off the basis that every president that we have had has been racist. Right?
Okay,
I'm going.
So you're going off of the
hold on. I'm saying that racism is an everyday part of the American experience, particularly the black experience. Okay? So, outside of that, as somebody that deals with racism, right? That has experienced racism professionally. Oh, don't forget that one of the reasons why I had issues with the bar association was because I pissed off some very powerful people in Louisiana as being a black man that wouldn't lay down. So when you talk about the effects of racism and having my rights violated by white people that are in power, oh, I'm very well aware. Let's take that part out of it. What are the issues? What
you just said? Can I just acknowledge what you just said?
Please.
You're very well aware of it. And it would be nice for you to acknowledge that when you were talking earlier, to say, hey, I know racism is on both sides, because you kind of brushed it off like, no, he's not racist.
I'm saying
Trump is a racist and he's an ass. He's unprofessional. He's not trained and prepared. Now, if you have other things that you're about to highlight that you're standing on, then just point that out.
I'm saying, pardon me for not saying the obvious, that we live in a racist country. Oh wait, did Kamala Harris say that we don't live in a racist country? Did she say that?
First of all, let me say this.
Did she say that?
Listen, as you said earlier, I'm not standing on every word that anybody says. And Kamala, first of all, is not my first pick. But when I have somebody who's saying they want to take away all of our rights, and I got on here because you said the abortion stuff. Do you want to die on the abortion stuff? What people don't understand, and it really aggravates me, that when they talk about it, they don't express the extent of what is happening. Because what is happening is not just people who decide they want to have a baby, not have a baby. There are women. First dying at higher rates than any other race when they are pregnant for having a baby. So for you to say this doesn't matter, that's a problem because there are black women dying at large rates.
I never said it didn't matter. I never said it. I never said it didn't matter. So let's get the
abortion
let.
part. You did. You
I
said, is this the hill we want to die on?
I asked
Black
this.
women are dying
I
on it every
asked.
day.
Well, allow me to finish. Allow me to finish. I said, is that the hill that we want to die on? Watch this. That doesn't deny. That doesn't deny that there's a black maternity health
No,
crisis.
let me tell you why I'm bringing up the abortion.
Please.
Because well, first of all, I went through 7 years of infertility. When my first pregnancy ended up in a miscarriage. When I had a miscarriage, the baby didn't pass all the way. When the baby didn't pass all the way, they had to perform a DNC. If they didn't perform a DNC, I could have died.
What's a DNC? What's a DNC?
A DNC is when they go in to do the abortion. That's what they use, the things, the tools they use to do the abortion. Because the baby didn't pass all the way, and if it doesn't, it puts a woman's life at risk. I have a friend who had a miscarriage out here in Louisiana. After they passed because they want to say, oh, we want to give it to states' rights. Just let me finish this. I'll forget, not because I'm trying to be rude, but the states' rights. They're trying to make it states' rights. Many states are doing an abortion ban, a complete abortion ban. When they do a complete abortion ban, that takes away. So when there's ectopic pregnancies, when there's women whose life is on the line. If they tell you, okay, and these could be married, because everybody loves to say, oh, it's just women out here having these, they shouldn't get married. There are married women, and again, my friend was married. She had a miscarriage. Right after they passed the abortion ban here in Louisiana, she went to the hospital, and she's bleeding profusely. She's in severe pain. They turned her away because they were scared to lose their license. She went to another hospital. They turned her away again. She went home for 2 weeks and had to bleed and suffer because the hospitals are afraid to lose their license, and she could have lost her life. So there are more black women who are likely going to die because of. Go ahead.
May I? So Trump also said that he believes in the 3 exceptions: rape, incest, and the wait. Hold on. I allowed you to say what you said, right? Because I allowed you to provide your friend's experience and your own experience, right? So he said that he believes in the 3 exceptions: rape, incest, and for the health of the mother's health, right? To save the mother's life. I stand on the same thing. Well, let me help. Let me hold on. 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 Well, that sounds like you need to have a more activated base that is voting against those kinds of things. Oh, like when we have Gary Chambers run for office and black folks don't show up. Oh, like when we have hold on. When there are candidates who support those kinds of initiatives and we do not vote for them, and black folks black folks do not show up to counteract that. Guess whose fault that is? Hold on. So now that's from that aspect, right? Because if somebody you feel that strongly about it, then you have to assume that there's people who feel as strongly about it on the opposite side. And if the opposite side is utilizing the voting process and utilizing the political process to make sure that their will is carried out, guess whose fault that is? That is the fault that.
I get that, but you can't. But what you're saying is no, because I get the whole.
That's a political.
You're right.
Look, hold on.
You're right. We need to organize, but what you're doing is empowering somebody. You are empowering somebody who's giving state. Like you cannot ignore the fact that they are sitting there and they're doing complete abortion ban. And guess what? Your daughter could end up pregnant and could end up needing that procedure one day. And that's selfish because you've not been in the position. Why do women get so upset about it? I just told you. Because my life was on the line. My life was on the line. My friends' life. I have cousins whose lives was on the line. I have family members whose lives are on the line. Black women's lives. If I get pregnant and something could go wrong, whether I want to or not, even if I'm not trying to get an abortion, what they need to do for the people who don't want abortion is go in, because they keep talking about
did they vote?
Third trimester
Did they vote?
Huh?
Did the people that had abortions, did they vote? Did they vote? Did they wait, hold on. Did they allow? Did they make sure that the people around them vote? The people that cared about. Hold on. No.
You are right. You are so right, doctor. All of them need to vote. But what I'm
So
saying
why are
is
you
you're
arguing
sitting
with me?
here, but you're sitting here
Why are you
now
arguing with me if I'm right?
because I'm not agreeing with you're supporting someone who is supporting people and putting people in power. That yes, should we be in a better place? Yes, but the other side is true too. That doctor, that the people that are against abortion, that who he wants to keep throwing out there that the third trimester abortion, that's not true. But even if that was true, and I know some people have presented it as maybe wanting something like that, is what they've been saying, but it is not anything that is legal right now. If it was a concern, go fight that. They need to organize and fight someone in power instead of doing a complete abortion ban because they are not medical doctors. That is like somebody giving someone power to do something that you have the ability to do based off of your education and knowledge that others never had the training for, and now they're telling you how to run your job. You may know the specifics because you have been trained mentally, you're educated in certain things that some people can't go in your arena and make certain decisions. So politicians and states should not be making decisions that could take a woman's life.
All right.
And the fact that you stand here and support somebody and just blanketly say, "Oh well, I'm not going to die in that hill," when your family members could die on that hill.
Let me provide this perspective, right? So once again, he said that he agrees with the three exceptions for a woman's health and all the things that you just talked about. He agrees with it for that reason. You know what? So President Trump agrees with that, but you know who doesn't agree with that? Governor Landry. That sounds like an issue that needs to be taken up with Governor Landry. Oh wait, wasn't there a Democrat that was running against Governor Landry and black folks didn't show up? Women who were pregnant didn't show up.
Like that to me, like I didn't show up.
Well, you got. Hold on. Just watch this. That's not an issue. You just said my daughter could be in that situation. Women that you know could be in that situation. Where were they? Did they make it that important to them? That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that there's a personal responsibility. There's a So watch this. Watch this. So I'm all for people advocating for their interests. Go hard on it. So hold on.
That is a right. I should not have to lose my life based on the state I live in because this state over here decided that they wanted to be extremists. It shouldn't be a state right because I may have to move to a different state based on the job I work. So now the state I live in could put my life in danger. That is not okay on any level.
It forces.
That right there is a hill to die on.
It forces.
To lose our rights to this country is a hill to die on.
All right,
I'll let you go because I know I'm getting too worked up, and I know you're not trying to. And I want your base to be able to hear you, but as you said earlier, you were getting passionate. My life being on the line, and if I get transferred somewhere to another state, like I don't want my life being on the line because the people in that state didn't organize well. Do I agree with you? Yes, and that is what I want to do. But what I'm saying is, because we know that people don't organize well, we should not put millions and billions of women's life on
Yes, we should. Yes, we should. Yeah, and this is why. And my life has been on the line. My life is. Yes, so that's my point. So guess what? I'm activated. I'm involved. I'm informed. Right? You know what he cares about? You want to know? You.
I have seen you do the work, and I have seen you show up, and I have appreciated your voice. But I'm gonna tell you, it has been hard for me to see you run. And I know, I don't. We people have a right to disagree, but I'm gonna say this: as a black woman, it's been very hard for me to sit here and see you. And again, you may have different reasons, but to sit here and not acknowledge that this man is crap and want to sit there and say she's disrespectful. Trump is always disrespectful. He's a walking disrespect. He disrespected the president now.
Let me help you understand something so that you know how disrespectful I know Trump can be. Because as somebody who watched Trump be disrespectful right there in my face, I watched Trump say to Kanye West, your wife is a nasty, nasty woman. I watched Trump cuss people out right there in front of me. So I know. But however, the thing is life ain't perfect. Life ain't all grand as we would like. Guess what? What are the issues that are important to me? Oh, how do I provide and protect for my family? Oh, okay.
So what is that? You going because of the gun rights? Is that the only thing you're going for?
The crypto and blockchain. How the IRS goes after crypto and blockchain companies. How the IRS makes every time that I make any kind of crypto transaction a taxable event, and that messes with my wealth. Oh, what happens with wealth? We've seen that rich people run the country. So guess what I'm trying to be? A rich person that can help run the country so that I can have it go in a direction that I want it to go into.
So so you don't care that he wants to give tax breaks to the rich. And so
I'm trying to be one of them.
You may be closer to being rich, but what
I'm,
about all the black people who are not that close?
Guess what?
You may not maybe you are, maybe you're not.
Guess
but what do you think about everybody else who's not going to benefit?
Hey, guess what? You know what? You want to know what Trump did? He made sure that people got PPP loans and EIDL assistance. And so people, wait, hold on. So there were people, I was a beneficiary of that. That helped my business. So guess what? I'm voting for somebody that makes sure that my business has the money that it needs. Why? Because the only black jobs that you have are the ones that black people create. When black people are in entrepreneurship positions, then they could hire black folks. So I'm saying that if you're going to advocate for yourself, then you need to advocate for your businesses. Then after you advocate for your businesses and you build your money up. Hold on.
And want to cut the Affordable Care Act.
Let's call it. Do you know how many business owners were tired of it? If you made over a certain amount of money, your Obamacare.
You had to give your people insurance.
Do you know how expensive that stuff is? Have you ever?
Okay, well, listen, I have to pay for my own insurance right now, and guess what? If they cut it, I don't have health insurance, which I have things I have to go to the doctor for. So if I don't have the access to that, then what am I going to do?
Once again, if you have access to insurance, are there other ways of having access to insurance?
Not for me. I work for myself.
So what do you I encourage you to utilize a company called Opolis that provides private insurance. I have a number of. I'm saying that there are options. Am I saying that all of it is right? No.
Okay, and what are the costs, and what are the out-of-pocket fees, and what is the premiums each month, and all that other stuff that goes along with it?
I'll send you the information.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Why she flashing on me? You agree with me, but you flashing on me.
No, because I agree with you in some respects, but I do appreciate. I would much appreciate hearing you say those, because I don't hear that as often when you're talking. If you want to go for him, fine. I don't agree with the stuff you're saying still, but still, at least acknowledge that this is not a good person. You want to say they're both not good people. I understand that there's evil on both sides, and that's where people are getting confused when people are like, oh well, nobody's for us. No, but to sit out here, and I still feel like the detriment that Trump wants to bring, and the power is sowing seeds. And I believe I don't know if you're a believer, but
I am a believer. I'm definitely which is why I'm against abortion.
Listen, Jesus hasn't forced anything upon anybody. But again, my thing, I'm not for nobody just going and using that as a birth control thing. But there's other ways.
That's why he said 3 exceptions. That's why he said 3 exceptions.
Because he's putting it in the hands of states' rights. And again, if you go look at how many states.
What do you know? Do you want to know why? Do you know? Do you know why he gave it to the states?
Because he wants the people to be able to choose for them. Yes, that's what he said to us tonight.
Okay, all right. So that means that you take it out of a non-democratic body's hands and you put it back into so the people can choose. Guess what? So if the people decide to stay at home instead of choosing, then that's on the people. So guess what? Hold on. Be mad at your cousins who stayed at home, who decided that they weren't going to participate in the election,
First of all, it
be
ain't my
mad,
business, but go ahead.
be mad at everybody that said I ain't voting in this election. Be mad at them, not at me.
Okay, wait, we're gonna go hard on the people who don't. Yes, they need to show up, but we're not gonna sit here and act like that it hasn't been. They have not been oppressed
I'm avid.
for so long.
I'm
And so guess what? Because we are sitting in positions of privilege that we have gotten higher levels of degrees. We have had higher opportunities of people who have been stuck and who have not seen those opportunities. Then guess what? They've been struggling trying to make it. And guess what? Their jobs don't let them off to vote.
why do
They don't
why
get
why
paid time off.
why do people who make less than me have a higher net worth than me? If I'm in a place if I'm in a
They don't have no higher net worth than you.
if I'm in a place of privilege. Do you know that I was do you know that I was working, that I was walking? I didn't have a car when I started practicing as an attorney, and I had to walk to my
You
job.
don't have to have money to be in a place of privilege. You don't. President Obama was like when he got his degrees, he chose to serve. He didn't have to choose. Even being president, he didn't make a ton of money. But the jobs he had as senator, he wasn't making a ton of. People choose
What about
certain lifestyles and paths that they go on that don't always pay back what they're worth.
so isn't that giving up a level of privilege?
It is giving up, but what I'm saying is, don't sit there and beat down on our people like we don't know that they have been beat down.
Let me help. Let me help you. Let me help you out.
I'm not gonna sit here and act
Let-
like these people
let-
have been beat them down and locked them down in a
let-
position.
Let me help you out. Let me help you out. You know what's crazy is when your kids is acting up, do you correct them?
Yes.
Okay, let's call it. Sometimes you might have to tell them something that they don't want to hear, that they ain't gonna like, that they ain't gonna appreciate. Okay, hold on. 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 So now, all of a sudden, when you see that your people have the power to change their lives, and what's the only reason why their life has not changed has been the way that they've been thinking. Oh, what influences the way that they've been thinking? Their environment influences the way that they thinking. The amount of internal work that they do influences the way they're thinking. The things that they expose themselves to. Oh, guess what? Everybody got choices, but guess what? Hey, I'm saying to black folks, hey, you can do more. You can do more. Is it hard? Is it difficult? Yes, it is. But if you don't like what you're experiencing, the same way that other people are going to fight like hell to put you in prison, to keep you oppressed, you got to fight like hell for your own success. Is it fair? Hell no, not by a long shot. But is it possible? Yes. Are you going to have to fight like are you going to have to I do think it's possible. I said, is it fair? It's definitely not fair. Are you going to have to fight like hell? Absolutely. Are you going to have to be relentless?
Fine, but we're not going to sit here and not acknowledge that, like you said, that's fine. I didn't say nothing the majority of the time you were saying that. But the fact that the way you keep pressing it down, I just want to acknowledge that it's not like we just sitting out here just not doing nothing and for no reason.
If we're not getting up and voting, then we are not doing something.
No, I said we're not doing something for no reason. People have had their foot on their neck. And
whose foot was on their neck on election day? Whose foot was on their neck on election day? Whose foot was on their neck during my election? Whose foot was on their neck during Gary's election? Whose foot was on the people that decided not to show up?
Because nobody is trickling down so low to them. It's so slow to come to them. But let me say this, because people love to say we all have the same opportunities. I was working at a school. I'm not going to say what school it was, but it was an F school in Baton Rouge. Well, in the outer area of this area. But it was an F school. I go into the school. They have had turnover of principal over and over and over again. The teachers that were in there, constantly, they were constantly leaving. All they had was a bunch of substitutes. These kids were just doing busy work. The third grade, these important grades that they're supposed to be learning stuff, they couldn't keep a steady teacher in there. They got subs in there that's not teaching them nothing. They just holding position. The parents are doing what they're legally told they have to do every day is send their kids to school. They're getting grades, but these kids that because my teachers were there. I'm not going to say that nobody had to ever leave, but I had consistent teachers. I had a good quality foundation. And so everybody doesn't have the same opportunities, and everybody doesn't come with the same energy. I'm not going to work. I have seen adults where I'm working in house. I'm going to their home. First of all, holes in their home, water not working. They're getting paid $8 an hour as a grown adult. And you think they're going to have the energy to sit here and go do all that? And I'm not saying, yes, we have to empower them to understand, but I also understand when they're struggling. I am with you. We have to do better. But I'm just saying, when we're going to keep doubling down on them like it just came out of nowhere, no. It's because we have been positioned to fail. And we have to fight back. You're right. We have got to fight back. We've got to do better. But doing better is not empowering someone. And for you to sit there and say, well, he put in the rights of state, because first of all, we know gerrymandering exists. We know there's power imbalances. We know that there has not been opportunities for people to get into the positions. As you said, as you have run, Gary Chambers has run. There hasn't been fair opportunities for backing of funding for you all to get the proper supports. So to sit there and say,
from the same party that we give loyalty to. Gary Chambers got screwed by the Democratic Party, by the Louisiana State Democrats. The same party that we give our loyalty to. And guess what? This was somebody that was going to help bring change. I was an independent. I was an independent.
You've got to continue to build in between. I'm saying there's nothing Trump is saying that is going to help anybody. He has not said, other than the rich white people, and maybe
he said
falling in that bracket,
he went to he went to talking about making sure that he was deregulating Bitcoin and crypto. I'm telling.
That's the only thing.
What?
So you want to tell everybody else not to die on something, but their lives are on the line. This is about you, and I understand it's about you getting wealth.
Hold on. I only have one vote. I only have one vote. I have only one vote. I have to vote for the things that are important to me. And guess what? That's the thing. Hold on. Guess what? So if it's that serious, then it's that serious for you to get up off your behind and go vote.
First of all,
I only have one vote. I only have.
Get off my behind every election.
I'm glad. Guess what? I only have one vote.
You have one vote, and you have a voice, and you're using your voice and you're not even acknowledging.
Have I told people not to vote for Kamala?
What I'm saying right now is,
Have I told people to not vote for Kamala? Have I ever said that?
I don't know what you said, but
That's it. So you weren't. So guess what? So if you don't know what I said, and I've been talking with you for the last 20 minutes, what makes you? What makes?
You have been bashing Kamala.
I don't like her, but I've never told. I've told people. I've told people, hey, if you're voting for Kamala, good. If you're voting for Trump, good. There's also RFK. There's also Cornel West.
No, they are not viable options.
Wait, hey, bookworm sick. Hold on. Bookworm Sigma said he never did. I can attest to that. And me and him go back and forth. I never told people. Okay, cool. All right, so guess what? Guess what? I'm providing a perspective. Guess what? Guess what? I'm glad that you're an informed and involved voter. There's so many people who are not getting involved. And guess what? Guess whose fault that is? That's their fault. You have a voice. They have a voice too. Guess what? They can go to a city council meeting.
Wait. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
They can go to a city council meeting. They can go to a school board meeting. I'm just saying that, yes, is it challenging and is it difficult? Yes, but we have to identify what our priorities are. Why? Because you have limited time, you have limited time, you have limited money, you have limited limited energy. So you have to be very, very specific, very intentional, very strategic about the things that you spend your time, your energy, and your voice on. right? So what I'm saying is if all the people, right, that you're advocating for, if they don't find it important enough for them to get up off their behinds and go and be involved, don't even vote. Go to a city council meeting, go to a school board meeting, and they don't do that. That ain't on me.
No, it's no. But what I am saying as a leader, you're turning your back on the Affordable Care Act. You're turning your back on the fact that they want to cut Medicare and they want to increase the medication for elderly. So these are people who are at risk. There's all these people at risk here for all this different stuff,
Yep.
and none of that matters because you're going to get an extra dollar in your pocket because you can still advocate for the Bitcoin policy, as you stated. After we get her in office and then we can, and my goal would be we need to build up and yes, get somebody another. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say that. So there are one, like Bookworm Sigma said, there are one issue voters. There are that, right? They said this is the most important thing. That's who I'm going with, right? I'm also going to say, look, whatever choice that somebody wants to make, that is their right. That is their right. So am I?
If at this point it's too much on the line, and why would you do
what?
that?
Hold on. Let me ask you this question.
This election is too much on
When has the Democratic Party still ain't met with Cube, and he had a plan for Black America.
Nobody care what Cube is talking about.
I cared about Cube. Well, that's the problem. Is that why is it that we care about what Cardi B? The Democratic Party cares about what Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion has a thing, but somebody. But well, hold on. Watch this. Ice Cube consulted Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. Boyce Watkins. He consulted some of the smartest. Guess what? And they didn't take him seriously. So that's an avid. So how do I know?
Democratic Party is not the party. What I'm saying, Doctor, like out of all the other elections, I never get that hype about. Oh, we had to choose one or the other. But this election right here, where they're trying to take us back as far as they are, this is too dangerous of a game to play right here. Because of a one policy thing. That's all I'm saying. This election, and maybe you feel like people say that every time, but this is not like a normal election. If he wants to change the way things are, he gave himself immunity, wants to give police immunity. Why are you okay with those things?
I have a big problem with that. I do have a big problem with police immunity. I do. The crazy part is that police still have immunity. So what's changed underneath the Democratic president with the top cop, Kamala?
With what?
With top cop Kamala. You still have qualified immunity underneath her, and guess what? That's also a states' rights issue. But I appreciate you, Portia.
He wants to give them full immunity.
He can't. He doesn't have that power. You're on mute. You're on mute. I'm gonna remove you. Oh, there you go.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
No worries. Well, I appreciate you, Portia.
Yes,
I appreciate you.
Thank you much for your time. All right, sorry. All right, talk to you later.
Golly, I'm glad that she joined. I'm glad that she joined, but she said I agree with you. But that's the problem, is that we focus a lot because voting is so personal. A lot of people get emotional about it, and then we forget, hey, that emotions don't pay the bills. Emotions don't pay the bills. And people are like, well, how could you vote for this? Well, when you have a family to provide for, it'd be your fault if your family ends up homeless. It'd be your fault if your family ends up homeless. Laura Phillips says you have such a good soul. Presidents can't give immunity. Kamala has had 4 years to do anything. Now she's going to do something. She's right. It's not normal. Democrats stripped away voter choice. Oh, Democrats definitely stripped away voters' choice. So I know this conversation started off with the NABJ and Trump, but it just shows that once again that look, what do you feel is going to change underneath this presidency? What do you feel is going to change, and what do you feel is going to stay the same with a Kamala Harris presidency? What do you feel is going to change, and what do you feel is going to stay the same with a Trump presidency? Do you think the economy is going to change? Because guess what? I can tell you right now, if the Maslow's hierarchy of needs ain't met, if you don't have food, water, and shelter, you don't care about politics. Well, the thing is that if you're voting for somebody that's going to make sure that you have better food, better shelter, better water, that's who you should vote for. If that's where you're at in your particular journey, what are some issues that could be addressed right now? Oh, Flint ain't got no good water. Still ain't got no good water. Well, guess what? That could have been handled underneath the Biden presidency. Was it handled? No. So why am I going to hold Trump accountable for something that the Democrats could have addressed? Traveler says, so let's say Trump's out the picture. What does Republicans offer you, sir? Who said that I was voting necessarily Republican? I like Trump. I like Trump, and I never thought that I would like Trump, but I like I like some of his policies. I do like some of his policies. The main way to feel any change is also be active locally and vote accordingly, right? So let's be real. We're having all this argument about the presidency, and do you know that we do not have a direct democracy, meaning one person, one vote, with the presidency? We're actually only voting for the electors who pledge their vote to the presidency. The place where your vote matters the most is on your local elections and on your state elections. And then when you vote for your U.S. congressman and your U.S. senator, those people are supposed to be checks and balances on the president. Once again, people get very emotional about politics. Very emotional about politics, as we should. The problem is, all right, well, what do you do? What do you do with all that energy? What is the most important thing that you need to focus on? Like, yes, I can focus on this, and that's the problem, is that you're forced into making a choice. And when you make a choice, you have to prioritize. And when you don't prioritize the wrong things, when you prioritize the wrong things, you get screwed. What's most important to you? Oh, I don't want my children growing up. I don't want my children having a president that's racist. Okay, but everyone around you is you live in a country that where there is a lot of racism, in a racist country. Do I experience racism? Absolutely. Do I focus on the fact that I'm experiencing racism? No. Carlos said, what policy of Trump's do you support? Bitcoin. Anthony said, Kamala won't end illegal immigration. Trump will focus on peace and energy independence. Bookworm Sigma said, I care more about foreign policy. So what's the Republican nominee? Once again, I'm telling you that you have to make choices. What are the most important things for you, right? What is the one most important thing for you? What is the one most important thing for you? What is the one thing that is going to change your life, that is going to make your life better or make your life worse? Okay, you're worried about white nationalists. Okay, what interactions have you had with white nationalists? To misconstrue said women's rights. I'm with that. Does women's rights mean abortion? Because I have an interesting take on abortion. I believe in the 3 exceptions for abortion: rape, incest, and for to save the health of the mother of the child, to save the health of the mother of the child. And this is coming from somebody that has encouraged women to have abortions, right? Earlier on, I didn't realize just how wrong and how heinous that it was, right? Then, when I started to really appreciate, when I really started to appreciate fatherhood, I realized that abortion removes the property rights of a father. And you might be looking at me like, property rights? How? What does abortion and property rights have to do with it? We in this country have not decided whether or not a fetus is a person or property. Because if a fetus is a person, then why is it okay for us to kill a person in the womb, but not okay for us to kill a person that's outside of the womb? So if we're allowed to kill a fetus, then it is and it's not a person, then it has to be property. Okay, now is that property ownership of that woman? Because that's co-created property. Because that fetus wouldn't have been there without the man. You know, the tadpole had to meet the egg, and now there's this co-creation. Okay, so now I as a father, I as a father, I don't have any say over what happens with that property, even though it is in the possession, it is in the possession and control of the woman. What if the woman wants to have an abortion and I don't? She gets total control over that. But okay, well, what happens if I want the woman to have an abortion, and if I want the woman to have the abortion and she wants to have the child? I'm responsible for a child that I didn't want. On the other hand, I don't get to protect a child. I don't get to protect a child. Um, I don't get to protect a child that I do want. Pay half on all. I'm with that. Now, the funny thing is, when people say that they don't want the government telling women what to do with their body, why is it illegal in some states to tell women that? Why is it illegal and considered child abuse when women drink or do drugs during their pregnancy? Is it okay for the government to tell women not to drink and not to do drugs during their pregnancy? Something to think about. Something to think about. Too misconstrued? I'm with it. Take possession? Definitely take possession. Take it out the womb and have it be somewhere. I'm with it. I'm with it. Just Buddy said we all get to tell what to do with our bodies. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful for hearing everybody's perspective on it. Why? It's important because you can come to a much richer and much fuller understanding of the issues. And that's the thing, is that people don't want to have the hard conversations, or we have these emotional conversations and we get disrespectful. And when it becomes disrespectful, then all of a sudden everybody stops learning. Or the one thing that you've learned about that person is, I can't talk to that person. That's why, as emotional as some of these topics are, as emotionally charged as these topics are, you have to always approach it from a stance of, all right, let me hear what the other side has to say. I may not like it. I may not want to hear it. I may think it's horrible. I may think all of that. But you know what? At least you know. Two misconstrued said, but why does the black man most unmarried or children out of wedlock? It makes it decisive in our own community. They would not be able to have the children if women did not allow them to have sex with them. A woman can decide who she has sex with. We don't control. Men don't control. Men control access to marriage. Rape is one thing. How many? Are you going to tell me that the majority of the unwed children, and the wedlock are due to rapes? I'm not talking about rapes. I'm talking about consensual sex. where there's a child that's born. Mm, now I'm dogging. I'm not dogging. I'm being real. I'm being real. I'm being real. You brought up wedlock and that. There they both made the baby. Guess what? The same. Watch this. Watch this. The same argument. The same argument is that okay. Why did you decide? Why did this man decide to be reckless with his life? Why did this woman decide to be reckless with her life, knowing what it could cost him, what it could cost her? So a man, he might have to pay child support. Why would he be reckless with his life? The woman, you're probably gonna be the primary caregiver of this child. Why would you be reckless with your life? Let's go. Let's go. Jen said exactly. We need to have civil conversations. All right, let me see if I can do this for you real quick. There we go. What's good?
You know, I would never do this in my nighttime attire, but this has been driving me crazy because we know each other very well,
Good.
quite personally. Um, Also, we are known to have opposing views. We have ran against each other several times. Um, so, just for those who don't know us, like that don't know me, this is your live. I'm also an attorney. Will put my bias on the front. I got on my AKA headscarf. It's not a joke. I sleep in it every night. So yes, I am biased. Went to a HBCU. I am a black woman, but I do want to get to the gist of it. And I just want to say really quickly, it's very disheartening as a black woman that when you look at other communities, they stand in unison. To have a black man say, "Well, why are women letting me have sex?" but say, "But I also have right to that property." To devalue a life, you say it's such a life or should have the same recognition as a life, but then you don't devalue it. From a religious perspective, I'm a staunch Christian. I grew up very Baptist, old Southern Baptist. You know, personally, I'm a Bible thumper. I grew up very conservative. However, when you look at religious from the Jewish, which a lot of Christian comes from origins of Jewish, right? When you look at the Jewish religion, when a woman has sex out of wedlock, and they thought that a baby might be conceived, she went to the priest, and the priest gave her something. And then, of course, what we're not saying is that caused this a forced abortion, right? So we know that that happens in the Jewish culture. We know that in several, and that's just the one that comes off the top of my head. That's not my culture, right? Then we have the atheists in this world. Several people are going to have their views about abortion, but what we don't want to talk about is how Madam Vice President Kamala Harris has been working tirelessly to keep black women alive. I want to have my own baby, but we die at rates extreme. Why are black men not arguing that? If you want to keep your children, you want to keep them happy, you want to keep them safe, why are we bringing that into the argument? And it does feel like, I'm gonna be honest, you it feels like you spit a lot of red pill rhetoric, and to know how educated you are. I know you no longer identify with Black Greek life, but I cannot discredit these organizations. AKA is the reason why Black women got the right to even partake in the suffrage movement. And who was the number one person against that? I believe it was not Dubois, Frederick Douglass. He had alliance with white suffragists against the black woman. Something we're seeing right now with Kamala Harris. It seems like the black male is taking a stance saying, "Oh, I'm not going to vote off of race and religion, but you are voting off of sex." And that's like the unsaid. This woman is highly qualified. This man is a liar. This man is arguably 34-time convicted felon. This black woman has a remarkable background. And to even say that the apples to oranges, he's not a good businessman. To repetitively use bankruptcy and say, "I should trust you with the state of the economy," you can't even handle your own pocketbook, Bookie. You in debt. You can't host a rally in a place because you in debt. You can't get any credit. They really trying to put more logo up, depending on how this fine, how all of this stuff goes. And again, something I should also probably say that I think gives me special insight. I know you've worked with him, but I've actually litigated against him and won. My case is the case that set the precedence in New York to say that we could even sue him. So to know that this man has a history, a long history of constant, and I actually never talk about this publicly. You know me very well. I don't even know if you've ever heard me say this out loud, but I don't ever talk about that publicly because the work that we should be doing as a black community should not be something that we broadcast and should not be performative. But to say that, oh, we're protecting women's rights, we not if we don't care that they die on the table. To say that you can be a father, but you don't see your child every day, you're not in his home, you're not providing for them. If you didn't pay for that woman's medical care the whole time she was pregnant, you don't care about your seed. If that woman is on drugs, did you enroll her into rehab? Because that's half your baby, and she's in possession of your property, right?
I'm gonna clarify some things that I said. So I didn't say that the baby was property. And first, I'm gonna say congratulations on your accomplishments. First off,
Thank you. I
first,
had the
first,
pleasure
first,
of representing
first off,
Omarosa, man of God Newman, against Trump in her several cases. So it was very rewarding. And another black woman, a conservative woman, not just a liberal perspective.
okay. So I wasn't saying that the baby was property. What I'm saying is that in America we've not decided whether or not a fetus is a person or property.
I got you, but even
Ha,
to
ha,
relate
ha,
something
ha,
as property as a black
ha,
person, when has anything equated to life that was been property? But black people,
let me let
black people,
but what I'm saying is we both deal in law, right?
right?
We both deal in law, and the country is not decided on whether or not a fetus is property or a property or a person. Why am I saying that?
Okay.
Right? Why am I saying that? Because it's okay for us to kill a person in a womb, and it's not and it's illegal for us to kill a person that's outside the womb.
Well, I'd argue
Oh,
it's not illegal to kill people outside of the room because we see it every day, and that affects whose community?
so it affects
The black community.
it affects black
And those people,
it
and we
affects
see time and time and
it aff-
time again,
it
yes, but it overly affects you. When you
I'm
look at the numbers of black people that make up the population in America in relation to the way they
at a
are
higher rate. Yes,
killed
it
at a
does.
higher rate and
Mm-hmm.
jailed at a higher rate. And you
Absolutely.
and I both know that there is an argument that this system uses black people. The only form of slavery that's still legal, Brother Montgomery, you know, I call you Brother Montgomery, is what? Going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to say that the only group that has ever been deemed less than human, who is in jail at higher rates, that don't have no correlation, it does. We
I'm
also know historically slave catchers transition from doing that into law enforcement. That these are things that
I
we know.
I
So to say
I
these don't exist,
when did I say it didn't exist? I never said that.
okay,
I never said it didn't exist. What I'm saying is let's look at what the law is. You said a few things, right? The to deal with abortion is a different issue. It is related to black maternity health. Once again, when I was talking about the abortion issue, I was saying the three exceptions, right? The three exceptions: rape, incest, and for the health of the woman, right? Now,
yes.
okay, so the black maternity health crisis absolutely is extremely important. Is Kamala Harris advocating for that? I would hope that she is. I never told no one not to vote for Kamala Harris. Have I been critical of Kamala Harris? Absolutely. Have I been critical of Trump? Absolutely. Right?
Have you?
Right?
Have you?
Abs-
It's giving. It's
absolutely. The thing is that we got to see what a Trump presidency looked like in 2016 to 2020. I was working in DC when Trump got elected. I got to experience that. Did you benefit from a PPP loan?
no, because no.
I did. I benefited from a PPP loan. I benefited from an EIDL loan during COVID.
Yeah, but your average American did not.
Do you
And
not?
when your lower class citizen tries to participate in that, then they start recalling those loans. It was not done
I,
per
I
sure.
still
Every
I
person did not
I
get a
still gotta
PPP
pay. I
loan.
still gotta pay for my EIDL loan. I know people that made less than me that got their PPP loans forgiven. So
Well,
I'm
I mean,
so
I think you're one of few people
so
that benefited in the
so
general public. If you
so
did a poll of most people, they were not, because that's something that most you had to be number one a business owner, which is a community a black. Thing in the black community, we do need more of our own businesses. But if you did not own your own business, then you did not benefit, and so we cannot
so
put that on a
I,
community that is not
I
there.
I'm
We're considered the elite in the
how,
community given the access we have to them.
so what I'm saying is that if you're going to say that this is black culture and this is the black community, right? There's something that we could that we should aspire to be and strive for. What should we be striving for? We should strive for better. We should strive for.
Bankrupt businesses.
Hold on. Do you know anybody that's ever had to file bankruptcy?
I do, but this is being used as
Let
a weaponized dishonest. With every time, and you can't just
let
inflate your wealth,
let
and then every time you spend too much money, I'm gonna go bankrupt and do it all over again. It's not one bankruptcy; it's multiple.
for my audience, everybody's asking who is this. This is one of my classmates from Southern University Law Center, an incredible, dedicated attorney. So this is somebody that I respect, that I love going back and forth with, and one of the very few people who's got the the bravery to come against me in a debate. But it's all good. I teach everybody. I teach everybody. Most people end up seeing what I'm saying because I'm not basing what I'm saying off of emotion. I'm basing what I'm basing my I'm
Well, for me, and I will say, I don't think to have emotion is a bad thing if you can base first off of logic, because these things are emotional, and I do think people should get a certain amount of emotion to it. And I do think that we, in this race, people are using things like emotion to say, suggest, and I'm not saying you are, but in a open context, they're using emotion to say a woman cannot run the country.
when
But a man
when
has
did you
run this
when did
country to hell
when
for
did
the
you
last hundreds of years.
like I
So
want to
you saying I'm not basing my argument in emotion. I just want to be make sure that we're not using that rhetoric, because when you have these conversations, a big part of that is that women are emotional when people are being held to the fire.
not men are emotional too. That and the problem that I see is that men are not allowed to necessarily show emotion. So even when they're disrespected, even when they're called names, even when they're lied upon, that they still have to maintain a level of composure and tact, right? So the
Right, and argue the news has and being really aggressive. This we are into my sister got her doctor's, a lot of studies that go in the effects of yourself early education into college and those.
you were breaking up, my love.
So I'm being we are that if they show emotion. Black women and people because we are
Oh, I can't hear nothing that you saying.
I'm black first. Then
Go ahead. Oh
I
man,
don't know. Hear me?
you coming in, you going in and going out.
All right. I don't know how to fix that. He took me out of so
I'm gonna let her rejoin I'm gonna let her rejoin once she gets her Wi-Fi squared away. But I'm glad that I'm having this exchange because once again, um, I'm glad that we're having this exchange because one, you get to see what I didn't say, you get to see what I did say, right? And that's the importance whenever we have conversations about politics, when we have conversations about politics, is making sure that we have the record straight, right? That we have the record straight. Let me see if she can come back on. She's not on. Um, there are certain issues. You have to identify what are the issues that are most important to you. What are the issues that are most important to you? Okay. Black maternity health, is that important to me? Absolutely, it is important to me. What happens if I can't depend on the government to provide for black maternity health? Then I'm responsible for it, right? Then I'm responsible for it. Bookworm Sigma, I'll bring you on in a few minutes. I never understood what a lot of Republicans and conservatives were talking about like depending on the government, and how it's like I never understood it, and now that that I have matured, that I have grown, right? I understand. It's like, look, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's come to save you. So I have to make sure that I put myself in a position where I can take care of myself. Where if the government decides that they want to change up their thoughts and change up their tune, that I'm still good. That if I have a daughter, that if the government's not able to provide it, that I'm in a position to be able to provide it. So that's one of the reasons why many people on the Republican side and the conservative side are always pushing for entrepreneurship, because as an entrepreneur, you have more control over your destiny. Is it difficult? Yes. Is it challenging? Yes. Is it stressful? Yes. But once again, taking full responsibility for how your life is and what your life becomes. Let's see. Gail said, "First time in my adult life that I cannot afford traditional health insurance." It's crazy, right? And that's with Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act for 14 years. Do not be afraid. Said, "I've raised 3 entrepreneurs. I don't know how I did it, but they all own businesses." Because you set the example. You set the example. And people are. You're welcome. You're welcome, my love. I'm glad that you came on. The thing is that people. You should expect something from your government. You're paying taxes. You should. You should expect something from your government. You deserve something from your government. But what happens when your government decides to screw you? Are you still good? That's the whole thing. Yes, your government owes you. Yes, there are historical injustices that this country has done, especially to black folks. But what happens if the government decides that they're not going to honor that? What if the government decides that they're not going to be just? Are you going to allow yourself to be in a worse situation? And people are like, "Oh, well, let's not act like there aren't people in downtrodden positions." There are. But I literally watch people who were ex-felons, ex-drug dealers, become productive members of society. Was it easy? No. Do I have a level of privilege? Yes. But just because I have privilege doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna be successful in business. Let's see. Gail said, "Not right for illegals to receive benefits that I cannot afford." It's not right for them to receive benefits that and you don't have access to those benefits. Your tax dollars are paying for it. Let's see. Let's bring on Bookworm Sigma. And thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for all the likes. If we can get, I'm at 3.5 thousand likes. If I can get up to 5K, I'd greatly appreciate that. What's up? What's happening?
So what's your view about? Okay, let's switch topics real quick. What's your view on foreign policy this time? Like around this time frame, or current?
Around this time frame, America first. America first.
That sounds isolationist, but go ahead.
Absolutely. Do I believe that we should be having? Do I believe that we should be having as many bases around the world? No, but do I also understand that countries get to rent out our military and rent out our navy, and that provides a income stream for the Department of Defense and the United States taxpayer? Yes. Do I believe that the United States having bases in some of these countries and in some of these regions is destabilizing to that area? Absolutely. Um,
Which regions are we talking
Middle
about?
East.
Funny you say that because we still have the Houthis that are out of control in the Red Sea, and the Hezbollah has been going out of control, going attacking Israel right now. I
Yep.
mean, without those bases in the Middle East or in Germany or in Italy, uh, there would be very possibly a World War III, which I'm
Why?
completely
It
against.
can only be a war. It can only be World War III if the world jumps in it.
Right, but BB has not making it any better, especially what he's been doing since October 7th. I mean, he basically went to Congress and basically said, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and you guys cannot tell me nothing about it. Give my $6 billion a year for that you are mandated to give us since 1948.
Would BB be talking that be talking that bold if he knew that he wasn't going to get it?
Is the problem I have with him is he's one of those Israelis that are completely to the right. The majority of his fellow Israelis don't want him, and I mean he's been corrupted over the course of these past 30 years, and he knew that he basically revamped the Constitution in the Knesset to the point where he basically can be an authoritarian figure, and now the Israelis and the Palestinians as well are paying for it because again they allowed the Likud party to take the majority of seats of their own parliament,
Sounds
and
like
he it
sounds like
has
an
escalated.
Israeli problem. Sounds like the Israeli people need to.
I agree. Look, this whole thing with the Israelis versus the Palestinians, this is completely done. You did it to yourselves. You guys could have had a two-state solution from the year 2000, but since Arafat decided to say no, we're back to square one. And since the past 24 years, we had neither side have any diplomats or any form of diplomacy to come up to the negotiating table in order to come with a two-state solution. So you have the Likud party and you have Hamas that basically are basically going at each other's throats to a point where at this point the Palestinians could be completely wiped off the face of the earth because they have the military advantage. I'm talking about the IDF and such. And to me, he should be tried at The Hague. BB, I'm talking about.
Well, guess who's going to stop that? The United States. So,
Uh,
I the Security Council, the United States has vetoed the Security Council resolutions. Um, I'm saying that so on from a foreign policy perspective, Israel would be acting totally different if they knew that they had to deal directly with Iran, Qatar, and the rest of those countries around there. It
Right,
would
but what if they had a different prime minister, they would not be in this position that they're at right now.
I as an American cannot control what happens in Israeli politics. I can't vote.
Yes, well, right, but you as state as Department of State or Secretary of State, you have the power to say, listen, you guys can't do this. If you do this, we will cut off any military supplies we give to you guys. If you keep doing that, you're violating international law.
Well, that sounds like you need to have a Secretary of State that can stand up to APAC and other groups like that.
Which Blinken has done thus far.
We just got done giving them a few $1 billion worth of bombs and missiles.
Which we've been obligated to do, which I completely understand that. I'm talking about how he's gotten too far with this guerrilla warfare against Hamas.
That's
He's violating international law.
Biden couldn't rein BB in.
or no? I mean, he was always going to be in a precarious position from the get-go, because I am sure if he had used continue to run for sake of conversation, I can guarantee he's going to lose the majority of the Gen Z voters just for what's going on in Palestine. I mean, he was kind of, his hands were completely tied at that point. But again, this is up to the Israelis to actually decide how their country's going to go forward.
So
And
why am I responsible as so when I say that America first, right? Because jumping in that conflict puts more American lives at danger.
we're not we're not jumping in. We don't even have troops on the ground.
Dude, we just got done. We've been firing SM-6 missiles and SM-2 missiles at the drones.
Yeah, off the coast. I'm
Off
talking
the
about straight boots on the ground, like Marines and soldiers.
I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell you off of good information that is not true.
If you're talking about I'm not talking about special forces.
Those are boots.
Active duty troops.
Those are boots.
You still have I'm sorry. You still have special forces everywhere across the globe, even in peacetime.
That's
You and I both know this. I mean, we both worked in the military-industrial complex for a certain amount of years. We both know that, regardless, there are always going to be boots to the ground if you're talking about special forces. I'm talking about divisions being deployed, like leapfrogging year after year, like I did 20 years ago. I'm talking about that. We don't have that sort of. What we can do is, for example, is like for Ukraine and even Taiwan is bring military support and supplies. But to get us, we're not going to drag ourselves to a different conflict if we don't have to.
The United States the United States is tied by business interests. It's tied by business.
I agree. I agree.
And
unfortunately, the way we handled ourselves in the Middle East since the Cold War has been fallacious at best. And, to me, the only reason at this point in time why we should be involved is because of Israel. Other than that, but Israel, in the defense of its own sovereignty, is completely going too far, especially because even if they're bombing Beirut right now, of this assassination they did, there are Lebanese lives at stake right now, which would drag it even further into a regional conflict that could be even worse than the Iraq War of 2003 that I participated in.
America first with an a lean towards isolationism.
You have isolation. You have World War III. We tried that in 1940 until 1941. Look what happened with that.
There was war. There was war going on all around us. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, in 1915 and such, in 1941, we were forced to. We didn't really have a choice.
We were forced, right? And so you're saying that we should be involved as a preventative measure?
Yes, because we're the only superpower. Because ever since 1991, we have been the only superpower with democratic values, even though in practicum it has not worked in our own nation, that we have been promoting democratic values across the globe, and it caused stability even after the Cold War ended.
How has promoting how has promoting democracy promoted stability when Afghanistan is in the mess that it's in, Iraq is in the mess when it's in, the how is that democracy has not been a stabilizing force? And I'll say this because the way in which it's implemented, the way in which it's been implemented is the reason why you'll have all these major coups, and each side saying, "Oh, we don't trust the counting of the votes," because it's oftentimes it's done as a direct democracy. Direct democracy.
So would you rather have authoritarianism, like
Yes,
like North Korea type, or like Russia type all over the
like
globe?
Saudi Arabia or the UAE.
Oh, right, because they value their their female citizens more,
Let's
right?
call it the we as the United States overlook that when we want their oil, but we will go invade it. We'll go invade other countries who are have more authoritarian regimes than Saudi Arabia or the UAE.
The problem is, well, here, democracy is an ongoing experiment. I mean, we have seen in the past few years what democracies have, what the downside of democracy, like what happened in Bolivia, what happens going on in Venezuela right now. However, to me, they are far the best system of government in place versus authoritarianism, communism, or fascism. Now, have we during the Cold War as a democracy have violated other countries when it comes to enforcing certain, let's say, authoritarian dictators and the like, especially in our hemisphere? Yes, yes, I would say that we had errors. We had definitely had errors, but it is still a safer bet to have democracies or a form of government, representative government in other countries versus what we have in Korea, North Korea, or Russia, or even Iran.
I got you. I got you. Once again, I for me, I want my tax dollars. I want my tax dollars to benefit for me as an American citizen. For me to have the greatest direct benefit from the use of my tax dollars. Anybody that we provide funding to, we should be able to get a pathway to citizenship. American citizens should be able to have a pathway to citizenship with those particular countries, so that the benefits that we get from us providing aid to those countries should be, I as an American citizen should be able to know the more direct benefits. Uh, there's a problem that I have when we say, oh well, we're funding this particular regime to prevent this regime from being in power. Okay, so you fund one uh you fund one authoritarian figure to prevent another one because you're protecting American interests, and then you end up having a group of people in that country who end up hating America for as a result of it. I don't think
Well,
that's a wise decision.
well, it, a good example of what you just talked about is Iran. Now, the Shah at the time, we thought the CIA honestly thought at the time that he was the best option when they had the Shah take power. If they had kept left Mossadegh alone,
Oh,
because he was national.
you mean the Shah that was democratically elected?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If they, to
Oh,
me, that was a complete error on the CIA's
oh,
part.
so
If we had,
democracy.
hold on, let me finish my thought. I At the time, because of the Cold War, we wanted to make sure that certain countries were under our influence versus the Soviets. So we did not want to take any chances. We took anybody that was willing to be run their own governments, that was have some form of democratic system in place. Now, what we didn't see coming was that the Shah was as brutal as the next guy after him, especially with the Savak secret police and such. We didn't even envision that. I mean, unfortunately, when it comes to us, experimenting with other countries when it comes to democratic values and such, we don't have a crystal ball of what the outcome is going to be. So, because of that, they had the '79 revolution, and then it became the theocracy that it is today. None of us, I'm sure, not even Jimmy Carter would have actually would have seen that was going to happen. So, however, I mean, when you're a empire like we are, or a superpower, your hand is going to be all over the place globally. And unfortunately, and because of that, your interests are always the priority. And sometimes, even when you put through secret coups or proxy wars, various governments, sometimes you don't get the best results. I agree. I agree with that.
So
But
so that's
it's still the best option.
so my point has been this is that the United States has not held a level of integrity, and so it's
I agree.
it's fine. All of a sudden, we're putting in democracy, but you overthrow democratically elected governments, and
Well,
then you wonder.
it was a different mentality and a different time.
Ukraine, Zelensky.
I'm talking about the Cold War.
Yeah, I'm talking about we just literally did this with Ukraine and Zelensky.
Okay.
Zelensky, the United States was involved in removing the pro Russian president that was democratically elected to put Zelensky in.
And do you know why that happened? Because we didn't trust Russia, because we knew that even after
That would
Putin
be
was
like
coming to office,
that would be
he was going to be an authoritarian figure.
that would be
he was a threat to national security.
that to whose national security?
Ours.
How?
And NATO.
How? That's the thing. The Ukraine was
because they were because the Soviet Union at the time was an imminent threat to world peace at the time. When they fell in 1991, the Russians actually had at least 12 years of peace, and when Putin took over, we in the United States said, "Uh-oh, we know this guy's an ex-KGB lieutenant colonel who's taken over as president of this country. We do not want to if he's going to encroach in neighboring countries like Ukraine, and we're going to make sure we have established a military alliance, hence NATO, to make sure it doesn't happen. That will weaken him." Yeah.
Putin made it clear that if Ukraine and Georgia joined NATO, that he was going to up it. Georgia went to start joining NATO, and he invaded.
These are sovereign nations with their own histories and such.
So
they
what
have
is
no ties to Russia except for them being Slavic languages. They are similar to each other. They have no. There's nothing in common. They're two separate sovereign countries.
The reason why he invaded Georgia was because Georgia was joining NATO. So that would be the same way as if one of our adversaries decided that they wanted to get real close with Mexico or with Canada, and like we wouldn't like
We've done it before.
That
We've done it before.
so that's my point. So I'm focused on making sure that American American dollars, American tax dollars go to American people, and that when the American military and the service members are funded, not the defense contractors.
I'm with you 100%.
Right. So
yeah, when I was deployed in Iraq.
So that's what I'm saying, is that Americans should be the primary beneficiaries of American tax dollars. That's what I'm saying. But
I'm agree. If we can increase the pay for the military, for enlisted and officers and such, and don't give these contracts extra money like Halliburton, KBR in them, I would not have a problem with it. But me and you both know they're interconnected, especially when it comes to the military-industrial complex.
Absolutely.
And that's the problem when Dwight Eisenhower had warned us about this.
Yep.
It gotten so big to a point that it's like any government agency that is founded, it doesn't stop growing.
Absolutely.
I mean, it just straight metastasizes.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, I always appreciate you coming on, brother, and sharing your perspective. I'm going to go ahead and give my final thoughts to my audience, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, have a good night.
Well, everyone, a conversation that started with the National Association of Black Journalists turned into a whole bunch of other things, and I'm always grateful for all of you that tune in, that have been liking the live, that has been sharing the live. I greatly appreciate everyone. Please, please, please become a subscriber. Please follow me. If you and turn your notifications on. If this conversation has been helpful, has helped you understand things, giving you a different perspective. Let's say you didn't like it, but you said, you know what, I never thought about it. Then my job is done. So I greatly appreciate everybody for being here, being informed and involved citizens. It is Dr. Jamar Montgomery, and I am out. Take care, y'all.